Hey everybody, this is SWTOR Kamikaze, and I am on my Scoundrel. And today, we're going to be going over the Scrapper spec. I will be going over some things to note for the discipline path. However, it is not going to be everything. This is going to be a couple things. So please read over everything that's in the discipline path. What this will do is it will give you a far better understanding of your role, or at least for the spec, and potentially help you find a rotation that fits you better than what I have available. I will be going over my utility points along with a couple substitutions that I recommend. However, I recommend that you read over all of the utility points, that way you can find find a spec that will match your playstyle better than what I have. I will of course be going over the rotation that I have set up, and at the end of the video I will be going over my usual player tips for these class guides, and I will be providing another video for a strictly for player tips for everybody. So to get started will be the utility points, which under skillful I have Scar Tissue, which increases damage reduction by 5%. I also have Holdout Defense, where slapping a target with Blaster Whip or Bludgeon will grant Holdout Defense, which increases your move speed by 50% for 3 seconds. You can also do Let Loose, which will allow your Lacerating Blast to deal 25% more damage. Under Masterful, I have Med Screen, where your defense screen heals you for 5% of your maximum health when it collapses. And I also have Keep Cool, where Cool Head will also restore 15 additional energy. You can also use Curbing Strategies, where Quick Shot and Lacerating Blast will reduce the movement speed of targets they damage by 40% for 6 seconds. In addition, when Flash Grenade ends, it leaves behind Flash Powder that reduces the target's accuracy by 20% for 8 seconds. Or you could do Supplemented Med Pack, which while your slow release Med Pack is active on yourself, your damage reduction is increased by 3% per stack, which will be a total of 6%, by the way. Under Heroic, I have Dirty Trickster. Surrender purges all movement pairing effects when activated. In addition, when Tranquilizer wears off, the target is struck by the Sedatos, which reduces all damage dealt by 50% for the next 10 seconds. I also have KO. When used from stealth, back blast, and point blank shot interrupts and knockdowns the target for 3 seconds. However, if it is a player target, the player will be immobilized for 3 seconds rather than being knocked down. A good substitution here will be Smuggle Defenses, where it reduces the cooldown of escape by 30 seconds, defense screen by 5 seconds, and smuggle by 1 minute. Under Legendary, I have Back At Ya, which activating dodge will return 150% of direct single target attack and force damage taken back to the attacker while dodge is active. I also have Hotwire Defenses, which increases the amount of damage absorbed by defense screen by 30%. You can always use Surprise Comeback, which Peliman C now additionally grants Surprise Comeback, which restores 5% of total health every 3 seconds and reduces damage received by 20% for the duration. So for things to note, Sucker Punch will trigger Flying Fist, And Flying Fist will regrant upper hand when hitting, which is 1 per 10 seconds, so 10-second cooldown for that. Back Blast will add internal damage for 6 seconds and increases armor penetrating for 30% for 15 seconds. Back Blast will grant Rolling Punches, which increases range and tech crit chance by 5% for 15 seconds. And Bludgeon will cause the target to be susceptible for 45 seconds, which increases the tech damage they take by 5%. And then lastly, Blood Boiler will mark the target hot and ready, which causes the next Back Blast to be usable while face to face and be treated as if it was used from stealth. So for the rotation that I have here, I will be starting off with Bludgeon, which of course I'll be starting from stealth, but from stealth will be Bludgeon, Vital Shot, followed by Blood Boiler, then Bushwhack, Lacerating Blast, followed by Back Blast, Shank Shot, and then Sucker Punch. From there you should be able to go back to Bludgeon and be able to go through the rotation again. However, if you feel like you went through that quick, you could always use Thermal Grenade and then Quick Shot. The reason why I'll be starting from stealth is because I am set up to where, if I use stealth, my Back Blast and Back Blast, I don't mind. My Back Blast is set up later. But I would be using stealth. Normally I would be using Back Blast to cause my target to be knocked down for a couple seconds. However, because I have to be from behind. So if you're going to do that before you go through the rotation, make sure you use stealth to get behind your target without them knowing. Where Back Blast, followed by Bludgeon, Vital Shot, Blood Boiler, Bushwhack, Lacerating Blast. If you time it right, you'll be able to use Back Blast again, followed by a Shank Shot, and Sucker Punch. And for the heck of it, Thermal Grenade and Quick Shot. And then from there, I'd be going back through the rotation. However, let's say you did not go in through stealth, you just want to use the regular rotation. That's fine. You run up to your target, start off with Bludgeon, followed by Vital Shot, Blood Boiler, Bushwhack, Lacerating Blast, Back Blast, Shank Shot, Sucker Punch. And then you can start going through again, or you could just use Thermal Grenade, Quick Shot, and then start going through again with Bludgeon, Vital, Blood, Bush, Lacerate, Back Blast, Shank Shot, and Sucker Punch again. So that's the basic rotation I have for you guys. Pressing Y will bring out our legacy here. And no, I did not have really anything unlocked. This tune was also brushed up. I didn't unlock anything while I was leveling up with this character. So, but under character perks, under advancement, I recommend that you grab what you're going to focus on. So if you're a PvPer and you're going to level up through war zones, you'll be maxing out the first line here for Warzone experience. I recommend Flashpoint for those who are PvEers and want to level up through Flashpoints. For the questers, I recommend that you get Class Mission as well as Exploration. These two go hand in hand beautifully. For travel, I recommend that you get Priority Transport Personal Starship, especially if you are leveling up through your storyline quest. Let's say you just finished your heroic mission and you have your storyline telling you that you need to go to your starship, and you are in the middle of nowhere. Well, instead of having to find the nearest flight path and take the speeder over to the spaceport, you can just use your personal starship button and be ported directly to your starship, and you'll be inside. I also recommend getting side planets such as CZ-198. This way you could just use the icon and go straight over to the planet, where you could do those heroic missions or the flashpoints if you go to them in person. And this is especially useful for those who cannot remember for the life of them where on the galactic map these planets are at. Under convenience, for 200,000, I recommend you get the field respec. This way, you do not have to go to the fleet in order to respec. You can just respec just about anywhere at any time. Especially if you're going from a DPS role to the healer role if a healer decides to drop group. You could just respec the healer and keep the group moving. Same thing if you're a tank, you could equip that tank gear that's in your inventory, replacing that DPS gear, respec to the tank, and be able to keep the group moving as you are tanking. Or you could just switch out DPS roles if the DPS spec you're in is not to your liking. And I apologize to the PvPers now who want to try and respec in the middle of a war zone. I apologize. The game will not let you respec while you're in the middle of combat or in the middle of a war zone. You'll have to wait till the match is over and respec when you are in between war zone matches. I also recommend, for those who are low level and leveling up, highly recommend that you get the field repair droid. That way you can set up the field repair droid anywhere and be able to repair your armor and sell items to clear out your inventory space. This also comes in handy in the middle of an operation after a difficult boss. This way, your entire raid group will be able to repair their armor. After those two, I recommend getting the others when you have the credits to get them, as they are all rather helpful in one form or another. For companion, I recommend that you get max out the Legacy of Altruism to get the maximum influence gain towards your companion from companion gifts. I also recommend, that goes hand in hand with that, to max out Legacy of Promptness, which reduces the time taken to give gifts to your companions. This will go from 3 seconds per gift given to your companion down to roughly 1.6 seconds for each gift being given to your companion. Saves a crap ton of time if you have a lot of gifts to give to your companions. Under Global Unlocks and Other, I recommend having one character at least temporarily max out the light side attunement. This way you can get the Unity ability to be active for all your characters. The Unity ability requires that your companion is out with you in order to use it, However, it will reduce the damage intake you and your companion have by 50% for 15 seconds. So that is an increase to damage reduction by 50%, and that's lasts for 15 seconds for both you and your companion. Very beneficial for when you're in a tight spot. Ship unlocks, you do not have to have any of it. As each and every single one you can find on the ship on your fleet somewhere. Maybe not the repair droid that changes the health of the training dummies, but everything else you'll be able to find the fleet in one spot or another. However, if you're like me and you would like to use the training dummies in peace, you can get the operations training dummy as well as the Warzone training dummy for your personal starship on all your classes and use them accordingly. Under convenience, max out the Legacy Fleet Pass, your Legacy Travel, as well as the Priority Transport Personal Starship if you're going to use that on your classes. That way your Personal Starship, your Quick Travel, and your Fleet Pass, all three of them will have absolutely no cooldown. You'll be able to port around all day and look like an elite leveler. Tactical markers is what I also recommend in case you are going to be the group leader for operations as well as flashpoints. This way you'll be able to mark out where each of the roles are going to be at, and hopefully the boss fight will be going a lot smoother rather than chaotic. Lastly, I recommend that you get the improved mounting. This way you are able to mount while moving. I personally love it. I find it rather addicting. This way you do not have to take a couple extra seconds to stop, mount, and then start moving again. You're able to just keep moving. That's all I have for you guys. I wish you guys the best of luck, and welcome to playing the Scrapper Scoundrel.